One of my favorite things about working with highly driven individuals is that they want to get after it all the freaking time. And that's awesome. It's really fun to work with them. But the main thing that I run into is oftentimes it's, hey, we need to pull back the reins a little bit. We need to slow down. We need to do less. And oftentimes these people will freak out and say, what the hell are you talking about? If I do less, I'm going to get fewer results. And it's oftentimes the opposite, where when we do a bit less in terms of frequency, then we oftentimes get better results. And why is that? Well, it's because we have more time to recover. That is one of the most fundamental principles with respect to human performance, is if we have more time to recover, then our body does what's called supercompensates, and now we have a new higher level of baseline. Okay. Now, oftentimes these folks will want to do more. And it sounds great. Well, can I just do an extra session here? Well, again, the answer is no, because if you do an extra session here, we don't know for a fact, how's that going to impact our future sessions? You told me you wanted this thing at this date. You wanted to perform best at this date. So if we add an extra session in now, how is that going to affect that target date? That's, again, another fundamental principle called delayed training effects. So this is where we need to look at something like a marathon runner. A marathon runner does not practice running the marathon every single day. They do a lot of derivatives and drills and all sorts of other skill work associated with running. They don't run the marathon all the time, every day. If they did, they'd be in terrible shape by the time the event came, in terms of their body would be so beaten down and broken that they probably couldn't perform. And if they did, it would be a god-awful time. So this is where, especially in the Western style, folks have a hard time, is understanding that every day you go into train, every time you have a good meal, every time you sleep, all that stuff, that's a tiny little deposit into achieving the future self that you want, into achieving the future result that you want. It is delayed gratification, and it takes time. You need to slow down, trust the process. When it's time to work your face off. But then when it's time to rest, get plenty of calories, rest, relax. Have a good day. If you have questions, email me, Travis@dhpcoaching.net, or drop me a DM.